Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I know that you're joining from Canada as well as around the world. So very nice to be able to join you today and talk about our application process. So my name is Michaela Vikramasinghe. I'm the Recruitment and Training Officer at the University of Winnipeg Graduate Studies. And with me, I have my colleague, Dagam Haptemariam, who is our admissions and student tracking officer. So it's really valuable to have Dagam here because she does the important task of accepting your applications, do the first screening of them, and share that with the program evaluation committee. So you're really getting today the insiders information. So welcome, Dagam. And today's webinar is recorded. So after the webinar in 2 days, we will share the link to the recording with all of you. There's a Q&A, so you can add your questions there. We will be looking at the Q&A periodically and answer those questions. I don't know if the chat is available for everyone, but it would be great to see where you all coming from. I know that information you have provided at the registration, but just for who you are joining, we can't go back and see it right at the moment. So please add that information and we'd love to know. We're going to talk about the programs we have today. We're going to talk about the documents you need to apply and a little bit of application process, not a little bit of like step-by-step application process. And then we will spend time answering questions. So I'm just going to look at the Q&A and the chat. I don't think anyone has written anything. I hope you can hear me. I think, Dagam, you can hear me, right? So, all right, I'm just going to double check if we are recording. We are. So I will begin the presentation. All right, so University of Winnipeg has about 15 master's programs, and last year, or rather this year, this fall term, we launched our first PhD program. Master's programs, we have Master of Arts in Economics, Criminal Justice, Cultural Studies, and Indigenous Governance. And you can see in front of each program, there is the full-time, how many years you need, how long is the program for a full-time student. And if you are a part-time student, usually it's 1 or 2 years more than what's indicated here. If you are an international student, you need to enroll in the full-time program to comply with your study permit. And our Masters of Science programs, we have Applied Computer Science and Society, and we have Bioscience, Technology, and Public Policy. We have a multidisciplinary environmental studies program that has also Master of Arts and Master of Science, but we have added all that here just because we don't want to repeat the name throughout the slide. We also have professional master's programs in Master in Development Practice, Indigenous Development, Master in Management, and Master of Marriage and Family Therapy. Now, these are all the programs that are housed, master's programs that are housed at the University of Winnipeg. Then we have 4 master's programs that's offered jointly with University of Manitoba. They are Master of Arts in History, 1 to 2 years, Master of Public Administration, Master of Arts in Religion, Master of Arts in Peace and Conflict Studies. So the students will start the program at the University of Manitoba, then they will take the classes at the University of Winnipeg as well. The students are eligible for training opportunities and some of the awards that University of Winnipeg also has. The only difference I would say is we can provide you information about the program. However, the admissions to this program is conducted by the University of Manitoba Admissions Office. So if you go to any of the program information that's on University of Winnipeg website, you will see the admission link there, or you can search that on the University of Manitoba website. And the newest program we have is our doctorate program, PhD in Bioscience and Policy. It's a 4-year full-time program. The student you see here is Haley Langford. If you're a domestic student, you may have seen her on the billboards around the city. She is just graduated this year, actually, from the Masters of Bioscience Technology and Public Policy and enrolled in the Bioscience and Policy PhD. So applying to a graduate program, this is rather a kind of a Q&A from me to you. And I hope you already have done all these steps, or at least some of these steps. This is something we have gathered from talking to supervisors, students, and alumni. What would be ideal steps you can take before even you start to apply, or you make the decision to apply to a master's or PhD program? Because it is intensive, it takes your time, it's costly, so you want to make sure you're in the right program. And one of the ways to do it is you do your own research on different master's PhD programs available across different universities. And if you like University of Winnipeg, we are wonderful, and we are very student focused. You should still explore the information of each program in depth, going to the website or talking to a supervisor. We have worked very diligently to provide program information on our website that will help you make some of those decisions. So that's one thing. And the other thing is you can connect with alumni and current student of that program. And one of the good ways or easiest ways that you could do it with the University of Winnipeg is when you go onto our website, we have a chat pop-up. So these, who you are chatting with is our current students, current graduate students. So ask questions about what's their experience as a master's student at the University of Winnipeg? What's their experience with their supervisor? What's the experience, with the support services available? That will give you a good tips on how we support our students and what you will experience when you join our programs. So this is kind of an example of what you see when you go onto our homepage or programs pages, where you can see the chat pop up and you can click chat with our students. Then we have 3 ambassadors, Chaturi, Faith, and Tabitha. Tabitha is actually joining today. I am just going to see if she's here because she would be able to tell you a little bit about what her experience as. Oh, she's actually here. So I just promote Tabitha to a panelist, and she's here. Welcome, Tabitha. Thanks for joining us today. I am not sure if you can turn on.
Yeah. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Great
Perfect.
timing. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this is a great feature. Yeah, thanks for the introduction. I'm Tabitha. I'm a second year Master's of Arts student in the Environmental and Social Change program. I remember applying last year. It's been a bit of time since, but yeah, I would just some tips for right now for application is definitely to try and get in contact with some professors in your program. Search out possible interest for supervisors or research interest. Thinking about your proposal is also an important step to finding your supervisor and to writing your application.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Tabitha. That's great information, especially if you are applying for research-based or thesis-based program. So we offer thesis-based, project-based, and course-based. And those information are on the program information pages. If you are applying for a thesis-based program, as Tabitha mentioned, as she has applied to one of them or enrolled to one of them, you have to secure a supervisor who's willing to work with you. And if you go to the department websites, there are a number of supervisors listed there along with their research areas. So you can find if your interests align with what they're working on and reach out to one of the professors and have a quick chat. So they will help you even with your research proposals. And very, very good tip. And it's highly, I mean, not just highly recommended, but it's also required to actually apply for bioscience program, applied computer science thesis-based program, as well as the MESC, the Environmental and Social Change program. So thank you so much, Tabitha, for that. Tabitha is also working as a student ambassador, helping with chat like Chaturi here. So it's not live chat because we have only 3 students, but if you send your question, they will make sure to answer you within 48 hours. And one of the other really great things that Tabitha and the other students assistants do is create and host uh, student engagement events. So really to promote the student life within your busy master's and PhD schedules. There's an event coming up right now called Trivia event next week, and they hosted a fantastic event, a meet and greet for new students and continuing students in September. So really, really great stuff. And thanks again for joining, Tabitha.
Thank you.
So going back into some of the things that you should be looking into is I talk about and Tabitha talk about the first 3 options, and also look at the minimum requirements that you need because it may be very similar across different universities, but it's good to see what exactly this program requires, what GPA, what kind of a degree, and check what's the deadlines because you can get everything ready, but if you miss the deadline, then you might not be able to apply. Order transcripts earlier. Dagam may talk about the electronic transcripts on her slides. There are easier ways now to order transcripts to get the official sent directly electronically from your universities. However, each university have their own timelines. So be mindful of that. And write impressive a statement of interest. Most programs will require research proposal if it's a thesis-based program, and it will require a program intention. Why do you want this program? What are you planning to do with this program? What kind of career, so whether they're academic or a professional you have in mind, all these things are really great to outline in your program of, statement of interest, because these applications are going to a panel of professors, panel of supervisors. So with each document, you're trying to be in that competition and show them that you're a great fit for the program. So that is one thing. Make sure you have a current resume. Uh, Resumes are tedious. I personally don't like doing my resume. I always forget what I have done recently. But get some help from your current university's career help or send it to a friend and see like, this is my current resume. And they might say like, you're doing this other great thing. Why do you not have this? So it's really, really great to have it updated too. And reach out to your referees in advance. So most, if not all, our programs require references. You need to add 2 email addresses to your online application portal. And one thing students do is they add emails of their previous professors, but sometimes they don't notify these professors that we will be reaching out to them. If you are using anyone's name as a referee, make sure you have a check-in with them before you do that, because it's really unfortunate if they didn't expect that and it goes to their spam, or they might not have time, right? So just do that check-in and reach out to like people who you have done great work with, and they can speak to you good quality. And I think this is sort of my last slide for now. I have Dragon providing some information about a little bit into depth of the application process now. So I will hand over the presentation to Dagam. Over to you, Dagam.
Thank you, Michaela. And hello, everyone. Michaela, if you don't mind, there are a few questions on the Q&A. If you go ahead and reply, that would be wonderful. I hope you all have a wonderful day today. So I will share my screen. Just give me a second. Okay, just. And I hope you all can see my screen. Okay, so thank you so much again. So I will be talking about what is actually required to apply for a graduate program at the University of Winnipeg. So I will be talking about the admission requirements. So I will start with the first, which is the academic requirement. So anyone who would like to apply, the minimum academic requirement to apply for a master's program at the University of Winnipeg is that you need to have a 4-year or an honors bachelor degree or BSc or equivalent. So that's the minimum requirements. And in addition to that, you need to have an overall cumulative GPA of 3.0 of from the 4.5 or a B or higher. So that's the minimum academic requirement. And but also we wanted to encourage that you may also want to check the graduate program specific degree requirements as is listed here. That, like, for instance, for the MESC program, they may say that you may include that you have a background in environmental science, geography, planning, and for history and history or natural science or indigenous studies. So, we would really encourage that you go to the program specific. I will go to the next slide and discuss more about that aspect of it. And then for international student, we do actually have a credential and equivalency summary. I put the link here. Maybe next time when you go and look at this information, you can get it. I don't know if I can do the link here. Also, I can show you where it's listed here. As you can see, like, it's this is where you can get when you go to the online application page. You can see that there is also, we have information about the minimum academic requirements based on international credential. So when you click on that, you will go to this information. So currently we're updating the information, but this will give you a general information in terms of what is required by country. So now let's go back to my screen. So
Dagam, if you
yes.
showed, you're not sharing right now, but if you were showing students the international credential PDF page on our website, it did not show. Maybe it was open on a different screen. So I sent the link to everyone, and I hope everyone can see it.
Oh, I see. Okay, I thought I was sharing. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
now you're not sharing.
no, I'm going to share that. Just give me a second. Okay, just give me one moment. I'm just trying to share. I'm hoping that you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, good. That's wonderful. So, so that's what the academic requirement looks like. And then in terms of the English language requirement, this can be applicable to those international students who are from non-exempt countries. So I will put a link here in terms of which countries are English exempt countries and which are not. Basically, if you're not from an English exempt countries, for instance, if you are from Ethiopia, you are required to provide a proof of English language proficiency, and we have a number of options such as the TOEFL, the IELTS, and other Duolingo, and so forth. So, for instance, for IELTS, the general um, accepted minimum English requirement is a 6.5, the general or the grand score of 6.5. But few graduate programs, they do require a higher requirements, and such as the Marriage and Family Therapy program, the MA in Cultural Studies and MA in Criminal Justice. They do require a higher requirements. For instance, for a TOEFL, you need to get a score of 100, and then for IELTS, 7.5, and then for Duolingo, 125. The other things that I wanted to stress that for the test, the validity of the test, there should be not more than 2 years. And now, in terms of, as I mentioned earlier, I would really encourage that you look at the program sheets because they do have additional requirements in addition what I have discussed here. And here, for example, the Marriage and Family Therapy program, they require 2 or more years of employment or volunteer experience. And then for the MIM program is prefers a 2 to 5 years of work experience. So as I mentioned earlier, there is a fact sheet for each graduate program that we go. We encourage that you check the information. This fact sheets actually give more information in terms of not only the admission requirement, but also how to apply. Earlier, Michaela mentioned what is required for your application, but also every fact sheet that for each of the graduate program do also share how the information about how to apply. So there is an online application form that needs to be completed. In addition to the completing the online application, you also be required to provide supporting documents such as transcript. It was mentioned earlier. For application purpose, we do require an official transcript that you can upload it into the online application. So I just want to stress that at this moment, we don't actually require official transcript. So official transcript is only required if you're admitted into the graduate program. So I just want to stress that. So please, you can upload your student records or any other documents that you received, such as like, you send out to any credential evaluators and they compile and do the equivalencies and so forth. You can upload those as a transcript. In addition to that, we do require a minimum of 2 references. Again, this needs to be part of the online application, and your referees will be asked to provide references. So you will be actually asked to provide us contact information for your referees, and based on that, we contact them directly and and then they will be given a specific link for them to upload references. We discussed about the English language requirements. In addition to that, some program may require academic writing samples. And the other thing is that they're also depending on which graduate programs, you may be required to provide a statement of intent. Like here with the MESC program, is letter of intent. In some program, it's the narrative and statement. So we really encourage that you go and check the fact sheet of the program that you're looking to apply for. And in addition, there's also, we encourage that, you can upload your resume, or if you're a permanent resident in Canada, we do require that you provide us proof of permanent residency. And in case that you change your names due to marriage, divorce, and so forth, we also do require proof of name change. So all those needs to be uploaded in the online application. So as it states here sorry, this is the MDP fact sheet. The program starts in late August, but you need to apply for application by February 1st. So this is a checklist that would help you. There is an application fee. So domestic, meaning Canadians, permanent residents, those with a refugee status, the payment is 100. International is 120 Canadian dollar. And there is, when you select your application, one thing that you will maybe ask is whether some programs have two options, a thesis versus course-based streams, or in some programs, you also have the practicum stream. So you need to select that one as well when you complete your application. You have both a full-time and part-time status, and then you need to select their term. For most of the graduate programs, the term you need to select is fall or September to December term. So that's the entry term for most of the graduate program, except for applied computer science program, which has two intakes. One is a fall term, the other one is winter term. And as I mentioned about the transcript, you need to provide that for application. We only require an official transcript. And then the other, I think we discussed those ones. And I think those are the information I can provide. But also, if we have any questions, definitely we can share that information. I don't know, Michaela, you shared with them that the application will be open on November 3rd.
Yeah, I was going to mention that, but please go ahead.
Yeah, so it's the normal application cycle starts the beginning of the beginning of November each year. And so this year, the application will be open from November 1st, and you have until February 1st to apply for application. We really encourage that you apply early so that if there's anything missing and so forth, then you can upload those information before the the deadline for application. Thank you.
Thank you, Dagam. I think I did have a slide about that, kind of sort of the application timelines. I'm going to share my screen again, and then I will, I have three screens, so sometimes I'm not sure where did it open. So just give me 1 second. Okay, there you go. All right. So, thanks again, Dagam, for all that great information about the requirements, the application process. You are applying online, so it's a very convenient. You can apply from your own computer, and it is a few pages application form. So we have created 4 videos. Each of these videos are 1 to 2 minutes long, and these are created by our current, in that year, the student ambassadors. They will help you, there are instructions about creating an account in the online form and completing your application. They will address certain questions, certain areas, and then how to pay your application fees, and then how to upload your documents. These video links are on our website, so I'm just going to show you. When you go to the Graduate Studies website, can everyone see the websites that I'm sharing? I see Tabitha nodding. So this is the Apply Now button. This is the web page where you go to apply for online application. Here are the application deadlines. Typically, the application opens on November 1st or the following business day. So this year, November 1st in the weekend and November 3rd, Monday. So next Monday, we open applications, as Daga mentioned. And we are closing on February 1st. That's when you have to make sure that you have submitted the application. But if you want to submit before, we love that. You don't have to wait until February 1st. You can submit before that. And then here are the program information pages. So for example, criminal justice. When you go to this page, you can see a brief information about the program, sample careers, sample courses, admissions requirements, and how to apply. So each of programs have information pages that will outline that information. And this is where we have the videos for you, where you can watch. And then this is the link at the bottom of that page. That's the online application portal. That link will take you to create an account. So I would recommend you to watch the videos that we have on the application page and then start creating your application online. So yeah, this is just the web page that I went to for the online application portal. And Daga mentioned briefly, this is the application process for fall and winter 2026 applications, and we only have applied computer science that's starting in winter. All other programs have one intake, that is fall. So the next intake is fall 2026. We are opening the applications on November 3rd, 2025, next Monday. And then we are closing applications February 1st for the fall programs and July 1st for the winter programs. So if anyone's applying already for winter applied computer science. And the offer letters typically go out in March, April. Especially international students, they will go out in March. And for domestic students, it'll probably go in April and sometimes in May as well. I don't know, Dagam, if there's anything you would like to add on that. Oh, we are good.
Again, what was the question? Sorry, I was trying to.
That's okay. The offer letters go out typically March, starting from March, and the international students will get their letters earlier in March, April, so they can apply for their study permits. And then for the domestic students, probably April onwards, right? April, May.
Yeah, it's also like similar times, like it's from March all the way to April, May. Is also for domestic. It's not just international. Only international student receive their offers by March. So
Okay.
so it's
So depending on how you complete your applications, and we have
yes.
received everything in order earlier. If you are an international student, it's very important you look at the visa processing times. We will conduct a study permit application process webinar next year, so probably in February, to get you ready, like before you get your offer letter, because we want to make sure that you follow the process. Everything is on the IRCC website. all the information, what you require. But our immigration advisor, Ali Raza, will join me in February, and we will send out that invitation to all of you by December. And just keep in mind, like, to check the processing times now. They change sometimes. It could take like 2 months. It could take sometimes 4 months. And especially if you're applying for MIM, Master in Management Program, the program starts in August 1st. Instead of everything else, every other program starts in September. So yeah, although I said grad school starts, that's our typical fall term start in September. The caveat is the MIM program has the boot camp in August. I just remembered a couple of questions about that came in. I know, Dagam, you went back to answer those questions. I tried to do a few. One question is about the postgraduate work permit. So any master's programs we have, they are eligible for postgraduate work permit. So they meet that eligibility as a program. But I highly recommend you to go into the IRCC website and see the eligibility for postgraduate work permit. It's not just that you complete a program. It has the other things like whether you were compliant with the study permit, like you work full-time continuously, and if you took a break, it was allowed by the university, and you completed in the time that was on your offer letter. So there's a number of things that you need to be equal. It doesn't matter what job you are taking or what field for master's programs, what fields you study. So that's a kind of a bonus of the master's programs. In terms of programs, to be eligible to the postgraduate work permit, you should be enrolled in a master's program at a DLI, designated learning institute, and University of Winnipeg is one, for at least 8 months program. And all our programs are more than 8 months. That's why we are eligible for the postgrad work permit. So just wanted to touch base on that question from a student before. So again, these are some tips that I have gathered from the review committees, the professors who have previously sat on or who are sitting on your application review committees. So this one is about reaching out to potential supervisors. I saw also on the Q&As that some of you are not getting responses. So maybe try these tips. They say try to be brief in the first email. Don't write like an essay. Don't attach a lot of things. Have like 2-3 sentences about your background, your GPA, and the degree that you have done. And maybe another paragraph of 2-3 lines. What research interests? Do not copy your professor's profile. And these are my interests. Sometimes the students tend to do that. It's good that what is your thoughts? What have you done in your undergrad studies or your interest? How are you going to plan to convert that into your graduate thesis? So add your original thoughts there, not just something that your professor is doing. Sometimes students will say, I really like your research and I want to be part of it. And I think it's good that you say that. They like the compliments. However, add like something that you want to do. What's different from them? And read the website and research portfolios of potential supervisors. So it's good still to go check out. Most of our research supervisors have their bios on their profiles on the university website. So add that because they want to know that you have done your own research, that you will be a good match for them. The research proposal. So if you are in a thesis-based program, some supervisors may say, do your own proposal, send it, but some supervisors will be willing to look at your proposal before you add it to your application portal. So always ask your supervisor if they will be willing to vet it, because that way they have like one less thing to do in the review committee, but it will also help you to make the good edits to make a strong proposal. Statement of interest. I know we have asked you to spend time on this, write a well thought out statement, write why you want to enroll in the program and how the program will help you reach your career or your personal goals, what you want to give back to the community. Make sure your language is well written. The degree is taught in English. And when we write, sometimes we write very quickly. We all make mistakes, but give it some time, take a second look, third look, get it vetted, send it to someone that maybe they might catch a grammatical error or a language error. So try to make as polished as possible that statement of interest. And when you submit, so criminal justice tip is that for your resume, don't just add your resume, add a little cover letter too. It doesn't have to be long. It could be 1 or 2 paragraphs. And that can be tailored, like you're applying to a resume, you're applying for a job, you will say on the cover letter why you are a good candidate. That would be your brief cover statement on top of your statement of interest to give that elevator pitch on your cover letter, that why you're a good candidate. The references. So I don't know if Dagam you would agree, but sometimes the student upload everything. Most documents are in your control, I would say, except the reference letters. It's in the control of your referees. So it is kind and also smart to give them at least a couple of months. Now you're here participating in this webinar. Later today or tomorrow, send out email to your professors, your research supervisors, like your honors supervisors, that, hey, I'm planning to apply for the master's program at University of Winnipeg. They want references. Would you like to be one? They don't have to write anything at this moment, but then you know that they have agreed, and they can also start preparing their letter. Some of the programs, like MMFT, that's the Marriage and Family Therapy, will require 3 references. They require academic reference, a professional reference from where you have worked, 2 professional references. No, let me say it again. They require 3 references. 1 is academic, 2 is professional, and the 3 is other. So that could be a volunteer organization or someone who knows you well, likely probably not someone from your family. And one tip would be to go to the program information sheet and look at what they mention under the references, how many they want, and what kind of references. We always get the question from the students, my professors, I don't have any connections. I've taken the degree long time ago. But you know that you have to get your references, academic references, if the program requires that. You can search for them on professional networks like LinkedIn. Although they have left the university, they may be working for another university. So have a plan on how to reach out to your referees and earlier. All right. So some of the questions are about funding. So University of Winnipeg has good funding opportunities. Last year, we have our students have received around 2 million in funding altogether. So there are a number of internal and external scholarships you can apply. If you're applying for a thesis-based program or even course-based program, it's really ideal to go look at your program's website or reach out to your program chair to see what kind of TA, teaching assistant, and research assistant positions available. So Tabitha here, who spoke before, you are a RA, research assistant, I believe, and all the 2 other ambassadors are RAs too. And I heard from one of our program chairs that University of Winnipeg has excellent opportunities for master's students to take on TA and RA opportunities, where in some universities you have to be a PhD student to get some of these opportunities. So don't hesitate to ask them that you're interested in them. And when the programs look at their website, look at your program application, they would remember you. We have a graduate studies scholarship. It's 15,000. So this scholarship, you can mention that you're interested in it. Each program has different ways of selecting. It's up to them how they select the winner or the recipient of this award. They may have an internal application process, or they may select based on merit during the application process. It is not a competitive process organized by our office here. However, we have a President's Distinguished Graduate Student Scholarship. That's a 17,500, and that is a competitive process. The deadline is in March. So although you're not yet in the program, if you have put an application for fall 2026, you can apply for this award. They will update the information on our website in February. That's what it says. So feel free to check out our funding overview, funding tab on our website. Go to the UWinnipeg Graduate Studies Awards and Scholarships. So when you go to the President's Distinguished Graduate Student Scholarship, you can see the value, the eligibility, how to apply, and the deadline for application cycle will be announced later, but typically it is in March. There's also for international students, the President's Scholarship for World Leaders, the value of $5,000. The deadline is June 1st. So if you're applying for fall 2026, that would be June 2026. And the PDF has links where you can go and check out that. There are also various bursaries available through our main university awards and financial aid office that you could look into. The other external funding opportunities that are really popular among our graduate students is the Research Manitoba. That's a 20,000 for 12 months. It's non-renewable. And they, if you're in sciences or social sciences, humanities, you're eligible for this. We have the Tri-Council. Our students apply for that. For SHRC, NSERC, or CIHR, 20,000 for 1 year. If you're master's students, you have to be Canadian citizen or permanent resident as of now to apply for Tri-Council. However, if you're applying for PhD, international students can be eligible for this award as well. There's a scholarships for international applicants given by the Canadian government. So the link here will provide you that scholarship information. When you are completing applications, you might have questions. You might be stuck in the application. So we want to help you live. For that, we have organized virtual office hours. Dagam and I will be participating in these virtual office hours. So you can sign up for these. The sign up will go next week on our events page. And there's something that you are not able to solve on your own, we'll be here to help you with these. Our student ambassadors, they are not trained to provide application advice. They're there to help you with your student experience, settling in Winnipeg, stuff like that. So don't bombard them with application questions. Send them to the graduate recruitment at uwinnipeg.ca or graduate admissions at uwinnipeg.ca if you have already started your application. So that's really all of our presentation. I have the email graduaterecruitment@uwinnipeg.ca here, and the phone number 258-3838-204 if you have any questions. I'm just going to go back to, going to stop share here and go to our questions to see if there's any questions that we have missed. Someone's asking for English requirements. I think we have the link on the presentation. I will also try to get that. The best place to look at that is the program information page. I think, Dagam, you have already answered that while I'm going to it, but I'm going to add here to everyone on the chat the English language requirements policy. This is generic policy across most programs, but on the checklist you saw that a criminal justice, cultural studies, and master in marriage and family therapy require higher credential. So that information will be in the program page. I'm not sure about the Manitoba grant. If you're an international student, if you're talking about the student aid, student loans, you're not eligible as an international student. Yes, the presentation will be.
Michaela, maybe just to add on that. So if they're talking about the Manitoba Research Scholarship,
Oh, Research Manitoba.
yes,
They are
then
eligible.
yes, you are eligible to apply so long as you meet
Thank
the
you.
requirement. Yeah.
Thanks, Dagam, for clarifying that. Yeah, Manitoba Research. So Research Manitoba international students are available, are eligible. So the study permit application, we do not have individual support, but we will have a webinar that's coming up in February to help you start with your study permit application. We'll go through the process and we'll give you all the tips that you need.
Would it be okay if I answered? There was a question about,
Yes, please.
it says, even the Canadian citizen required to provide a proof of their English. No, but it depends when you became a Canadian citizen. For instance, your education is, even though you're a Canadian, yeah, your education is outside or somewhere not in the English exempt country, you need to provide us a proof. Whether you are by birth Canadian citizenship or naturalized Canadian citizenship. It depends. So we look at that aspect of it to say, no, you're not you're not required or not. So it all depends on where you attended your education. The next question about does a university assist with a study permit application?
I did answer that.
Okay,
So we
okay.
have a webinar to assess that. We have an immigration advisor. Let's say you applied and you get rejected, and we will help you like to evaluate why that happened. But one by one, we don't help. We instead have an event workshop like today's. We will give you the steps of how to apply and what documents you need. We can provide that information. Yes. The Canadian citizens required to provide proof of their English. I think, Dagam, you answered that. If you've lived in Canada for 10 years, that is a waiver on our policy, and or that you have done your high school here or 3 years post-secondary education. So unless, as Dagam mentioned before, that you have done your school in a different country that's not English first language, you haven't lived in Canada for more than 10 years, you might have to provide, but I don't believe so, Dagam, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, great. We have 6 minutes, and there are 3 questions. At fee waiver, we do not have fee waivers for international students or domestic students at this point. If there is, we will mention that on our website.
Can I
Uh,
say a little bit more if they're talking about the application fee?
yes.
Okay, so application fee is really to process your application. So it is a service charge. So as such, it is not waived nor refunded. Let's say if you paid for the application fee and then you want us to refund. So yeah, so we from the get-go, that is how we communicate. It's really is to process your application. So it's a service charge. So that's why it's not waived.
So there's a question about international student deposit. It is $1,000, I believe, as per our fee page. And that will be on your acceptance letter.
Yeah, maybe I can say a little bit about that.
Sure.
So as we will make a decision at and communicate as to whether we still going to require international student to pay the tuition deposit. At the moment, we are not requiring. Yes, of course, it's listed on our a fee page, but a decision will be made soon regarding the tuition deposit, whether we are going to require students to pay that fee. And this is only applied to international students. Again, we will make a decision on that soon and will be posted on the website.
Just to add to that, it is encouraged for you to pay the deposit, although we don't require that to issue an offer letter. So you can show that on your study permit application. And it will be going towards your tuition. It's not an additional fee. And then also, if your study permit is rejected, that money will come to you, except the application fees. All of the deposit will come back to you. There's another question, Dagam, about the offer letter expiry date. Offer letter, how much time we can get? And I believe it's,
Maybe
I'll let you
Michaela,
answer.
yeah, before we go back to tuition deposit. So this person was asking for the peace and conflict studies, U of M or University of Manitoba. They do not require tuition deposit.
And criminal
But with
justice. So that is
with the
for you.
criminal justice, we may require or not. That's a decision that still needs to be made, and that will be communicated soon. I just want to yeah, add that information.
Can you answer the expiration of the offer letter?
What does it mean, expiring?
How long it's valid? I believe that's the question. Yeah.
Okay, so your admission letter is valid until the beginning of the term. So let's say you are admitted for the September intake. Then yeah, so it's valid until that time. But yeah, if let's say if you were not able to come and wanted to defer it, and I think I mentioned that to some of you, that deferral is not automatic. You have to apply a request for deferral, and it's based on the space availability and so forth. The graduate program make a recommendation to the Faculty of Graduate Studies, and that's how we communicate whether you are accepted for deferral or not. So it's not automatic. I just want to also add that.
All right. So I think we have answered all the questions, and it's the time to end the webinar. There is going to be another application workshop, repeat of this, and also for anyone new who couldn't join, going to be on November 20th, Thursday. And the registration link will be posted on our events page in the first week of November. So thank you again. All the best with your applications. We look forward to see them. We look forward to having you as students at the University of Winnipeg. For some reason, we couldn't answer your question or you have something coming up later, you can email us so we can provide that information. And I hope you have a great rest of the week and a weekend. Thanks, everyone.